Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today the Pittsburgh Pirates have traded for Cam Devanney from the Kansas City Royals. He was a 15th round pick in the 2019 MLB draft, and now he's headed to Pittsburgh. He's had a great year in the minor leagues this year, but I think the only problem is, look, he's been in the minor leagues, since 2019, has not stepped foot in the major leagues yet. He's 28 years old and has played great the last 3 years in the minor leagues, but still has not stepped foot in the major leagues. And I think that is concern, with his game. And honestly, maybe now going to the Pirates, maybe he could potentially be able to find playing time. There is no telling if that will happen, though. There really isn't. But he's had a great year this year. He's batting .272. His batting average points has gone up from .254 to .272. I think this is another key point. 18 home runs on the year in the minor league, 69 games played. I think here's the big difference. 19 home runs through 136 games last year, 69 games played this year, 18 home runs. So he's almost at that total he was at last year, and he's played 67 games less than he has the year before. And then the batting average on top of that has gone up a bunch as well. And so I think he has, good potential. He's played great. The OPS has gone up a bunch as well, 931 for his OPS. Strikeouts are really high for him as well, I will mention. But, really also, hasn't been big with it this year, but was pretty solid stealing bases in 2024 and 2023 as well. And so he's just, he's an okay prospect. But the problem is that he's 28 years old and still is in the minor leagues and is not, touched foot in the major leagues. Now, I will say freshly 28, but to me, I don't really think that matters. You're on year 6 at this point of him being in the minor leagues, and so and is still not reached the major leagues. But now going on to a new team, you'd hope that could change for Cam Devanney. And the thing I would say is I don't think this is a terrible trade for the Pirates. I don't think this is a terrible trade for either one of these teams, because the Royals, you look at it this way, there wasn't a lot of hope for him to becoming something for you. He's primarily a shortstop. That's one thing. You've got Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop. That's one thing you can look at. But number 2 also is that they've got a lot of young, good players on their team. There's no room for him on their roster. And it's a 20-year-old who is, not reached that full potential. Yeah, he was a 15th round pick. But I think for the Pirates, they're in more of a capability at this point of taking on a guy like him, a project like him, compared to the Royals are. The Royals are at this point where, I know they might not be in the playoff position right now, but they were a playoff team last year. I think they have hopes of trying to get into the wild card with this trade and maybe other trades. They want to be a playoff team. They don't want to deal with a project like, Cam Devanney. And I know they have the other young guys that are going to be projects, but those are guys that are like a lot younger and have a lot more potential. And so with the Pirates, maybe they're willing to take on that project. And the thing I look at is with both teams, where I say it's a win-win trade for both teams, is for the Pirates, you're getting rid of Adam Frazier. Yes, he's been a solid bat for you this year, batting .255, has been an efficient bat and solid defensively. Sure, you can look at that for Adam Frazier. But he was an expiring deal. Going into free agency, look, Adam Frazier at the end of his career, I don't think he was going to stay in Pittsburgh. I think he was a goner in the offseason, next winter. And so you got a 28-year-old who's been smashing home runs this year in the minor leagues and is still sort of young, I guess you could say, to bring in for that 33-year-old who's going to be leaving next winter. So that's where I look at this trade and say it's not a bad trade for either teams. And Adam Frazier helps the Royals try to get into the playoffs. I think adding in Adam Frazier for the Royals I think it really pushes them to a playoff team. No, I think it'd take another trade to potentially do that. But it definitely boosts their odds, I think, to potentially getting into the wild card. But let me know your thoughts on the trade for both the Royals and the Pirates in the comment section, and peace out.